name is Lee Rodriguez, and I'm Editor-in-Chief at PanelsOnPages.com, and I want to welcome you to the first episode of the PoP Toy Box, one of what we hope to be several new shows on the PoP YouTube channel. Idea is simple. We're going to take a look at some toys past and present and future, as we go on, from my rather, impressive toy collection, let's just say. I want to show you guys some cool stuff, get some feedback, maybe in a way you're not totally used to seeing before. Just, kind of take it easy a little bit. So we figured, what better way to get started, to roll out our first episode than something appropriately big, and so with that in mind, we're going to take a look at the Transformers Generations Metroplex, part of their thrilling 30th anniversary line of Transformers, because we're coming up on 30 years of Robots in Disguise. Woohoo! Metroplex is now officially the largest Transformer ever made. Is he the heaviest? No. Is he the tallest? Yes. It's an enormous toy. He's over 2 feet tall. It's kind of ridiculous. So we're going to take a look at him and all of his various modes. It's a really cool throwback to the original design. Pretty cool. Very, very sweet. He's got really more playability than I was expecting. When we first saw this guy in January at Toy Fair, I was excited. Lots of people online were excited. Like, had to have it. Of course I had to have it. But I don't think I was expecting it to be as much fun as it is. I mean, there's so much cool stuff there for adults and kids. It's just an overall excellent toy. It's an action figure and a playset, basically. There's that much cool stuff on this thing. It's essentially a playset. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the biggest Transformer of all times. Transformers Generations Metroplex. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and lead off with the robot mode, because this is sort of the money shot. This is what it's all about. And as let's get this out of the way, I'm not a small person, and so that, just for a frame of reference here, this is what we're talking about. This thing is absolutely gigantic. Like we said before, I like to put this guy down. Like I said before, the box does call it the biggest Transformer ever, and that is true. But to sort of give a frame of reference for what that means, let's take a look at the guy who had that title up until these past couple of weeks. Yeah. This massive chunk of plastic here is Fortress Maximus from G1 in 1989. It was heretofore the biggest Transformer ever made, and as you can see, it's still nothing at all to laugh at. But if you stand them up head to head, Metroplex's head comes up a little higher than 4 Max's. Now, if you're taking these into consideration, these big pylons on his shoulders, absolutely, hands down, he's certainly taller than 4 Max. That said, this guy is way heavier, and considering how there's really no gimmick to him, like he's not electronic or anything, like he's just friggin' heavy. And so next episode we're going to take a look at him in a little bit more detail, in case you're unfamiliar with the history and the lore of Fortress Maximus. We'll take a look at him next episode. So, without further ado, let's take a look at Metroplex. Just a little bit closer. So, he's got, for a figure this size, a really impressive range of motion. The waist has to transform, to swivel for transformation, so he's got that. But he also has, these nice ratcheting elbow joints, and he's got arms up and down, and he has these sweet deals, right? Great swivels out. The only thing I really have to complain about the articulation is I wish there were more spots here on this. Because, if I got, for me, ideally, I would really like this first one to be kind of halfway between where it is. That's just an aesthetic thing. Like, it's by no means indicative of any kind of a design flaw. That's just a personal preference. Because when it comes down to basic design flaws, like, this guy doesn't have any. I mean, he's solid. He has these awesome voice effects. That's cool. And you can actually move there's a little dial in the back of the head that you can move that around and move his pupils around and kind of point the way that he looks when the LEDs light up in his face. That's rad as hell. So, he has got an amazing amount of detail sculpted into him. The sculpt is gorgeous. I mean, he has all this awesome stuff on his back, all these great little bits and details. And he may look a little washed out in the video, but one of the biggest concerns I had going into it was that maybe he'd be just too solid white, like he'd be kind of boring or whatever, especially around his hips. But there's enough depth chiseled into him to really kind of show off a lot of the sculpting and the finer details without having, like a wash. Would a wash help? Absolutely. Like, you always want to put a nice paint wash on here, but, the more of that kind of stuff you put on these things, the more expensive he is, and he's already not cheap. So I understand keeping the paint apps a little minimal. And to that effect, to that end rather, he has stickers. Like these black details here are all stickers. These red details are stickers. These obviously appear stickers and whatnot. This dude has got, this is the sticker sheet. This is what's left of it. He had actually, truly, over 100 stickers to put on. This guy here, this is all the little chevrons on the landing platform that we'll see in a little bit. So it's a lot of stickers. Like no, it's kind of crazy. And this thing here is the map, the sticker map, and it's not incredibly helpful for reasons we'll get into in a little bit. It's not awful, but it was very frustrating on a couple of occasions. So let's take a look at some of the finer details. I mean, you just gotta love all this. I mean, all this great sculpted bits, like this cool, you know, rib cage abdominal bit here is just fantastic. And all this, these nice, you know, these are just different colored plastics, really kind of drive it home. And again, little nice detailing from the stickers that really give it a good callback to the G1 aesthetic. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the stickers are kind of a pain in the ass, but also very cool. They really just add a lot to it. And you know, like up here you got your little flip out missile bay here, and then these little stickers in there, you know, and there's stickers. Is there one on the side, in the front of it? There is not one inside of this guy. But he has lots of little cockpits around him with these awesome little panel details, you know, added to stickers, and it's the kind of thing you don't really. I wasn't expecting him to be this much fun. And one of the coolest stickers in the whole thing is this guy right here. We'll focus in there. He has on his windshield, control panel type deal. If this thing will focus, you'll see he's got Optimus Prime Ultra Magnus in the front window, RC in the side window, and over the side, this Bumblebee over here. So they're really kind of, you know, they're trying to really play up the scale of this guy, and it's really, really cool. So you can kind of see those LEDs a little bit. Awesome. And like I said, there's a little knob you can turn and make the little pupils move back and forth if you wanted to.
Metroplex heeds the call of the last prime.
And you know, originally, some of the reports from Toy Fair were like, oh, it's Fall of Cybertron Metroplex. And this guy, definitely, he's not Fall of Cybertron Metroplex. He doesn't look like that version of the character. But those audio clips are pulled straight out of the game, which is pretty cool. So, I mean, just, again, just, holy crap, it's gorgeous. And even the back, even detail how the back, like they have all these, you know, these little rows of thrusters here had stickers to be applied, and the same one's kind of down here in the back of his legs have these stickers to be applied. And it's just really, really nice. I'm not exactly sure what that's for, but you know, it's there, a little readout for something. I'm not sure exactly, but just fantastic detail, just really impressive top to bottom. It's pretty excellent. So let's get him into his. Let's go vehicle mode. Alright, now getting this guy into his vehicle mode actually isn't hard. He's just big and cumbersome, but the transformation itself is actually quite simple, so I'm going to go ahead and do it right here. It won't take but a second. It's pretty much exactly like the G1 version. Also should mention that this big gun on the shoulder, can come off and he can hold it in his hand, and that's pretty rad. I like it better on his back. So I pretty much leave it on his back all the time. But, okay, so to get him into his vehicle mode, which is, again, kind of like a armored, not like armored, like a rolling, like, airstrip type thing. He basically just sits down. And then the legs, the one unique kind of joint is that there's a little spot on the top where they slide together. It can be sticky, but not too bad. This ramp falls down here. And there you go. And that's really all there is to it. And then this stuff still works, obviously. But you know, all you see is this guy. And it's really in this mode that, I forgot this little arm here, this cool little crane arm guy. But it's in this mode that the playability of this thing really kind of starts to take shape. And where it really surprised me the most, I was just looking for it. I really wanted this thing. I was really excited about it when we saw pictures of it in New York. But like, I didn't think it was gonna have this much stuff, like, and this much to do. So we'll take a look and show some of the features off on this thing, and then kind of take a look even more in detail with even more of it when we get to the city mode in a minute. All right, first off, I want to point out that he has all these wheels on the bottom here. The wheels do roll really freely, so that's pretty rad. He's gonna move around just like you want him to. And this is where the sticker strap come into place too. this whole landing strip here, all those little chevrons, all this stuff, all these little bits here, that's all stickers, and it was just as tedious as you would think it is. But, you know, the detailing is really, really cool. So you have, you know, like the landing, then takeoff, and different colored lights on here, and then you have, you know, I guess like I pointed out before, this little cockpit weapon spot up here. So, I mean, there's a lot of really cool stuff to just see and do. And a weird thing, oddly enough, this helipad here, this this one and the one that you see in city mode, they are not stickers. They're actually paint apps. This is not a paint app. I mean, this is a paint app. This is a sticker. Not really sure where that line was drawn or what have you. But, you know, Metroplex does not come with a 6-shot or slammer like the original G1 did. He does come with Scamper here, and he transforms, and he can live up here in the chest section. If you roll that out, he's kind of, hey, look at me, I'm on the thingy. So that's fun. Look at that, that's just keen is what that is. And then this dude, man, he's gonna be effective because he's gonna make you want more of these if you don't have them. I mean, he's somewhere in the middle of like the Legends or Scout size. So he's not super big. He works really well. I mean, he's obviously made for it, but he's gonna make you want more of these little dudes. And okay, there's one more little small detail to look at over here on the back shoulder. There's just a little control panel, a little sticker you have to put in there. That, you know, that's a permanent kind of guy. But, you know, to sort of maybe drive home the rolling, you know, the airstrip thing. Here's a little wee Starscream. These are really small. These dudes are like I think like $5 or $6 at like a Dollar General or like a Big Lots or something like that. They almost have them. There's like 6 or 8 of them, and I have a few of them. They're pretty cool. But, you know, look at that. That's pretty cool. You know, look at that. That's a good time with that. Oh, you're broken? I'm gonna fix you. Yeah, neat. It's so much damn fun. And then, again, they work really well too with the Cyberverse figures. So there's like a Cyberverse Prime, and he's up here doing his thing, shooting bad guys. Pretty cool. All right, so that's neat. Let's check out the city mode, shall we? It occurred to me that I really haven't given a good like I showed you 4 Max and I got the little guys here. I haven't really shown a good representation of like how big this dude is compared to something that's kind of current on the shelf now. So this is a Voyager Sandstorm. And he's a big Voyager figure. You know, he's pretty damn big. But, I mean, dwarfed by this thing. It's enormous. I mean, it's 2 feet tall. And it's, you know, the hell's got to be, I mean, hell, it's almost 2 feet long when it's in this mode. It's kind of ridiculous. And, you know, if you know, people say that the Metroplex works with the deluxe figures, and this is my Chrome Dome. Because I love Chrome Dome in the IDW, the More Than Meets the Eye comic books. He's one of my favorite characters. I made this from a Fall of Cybertron Jazz. So he's one of the more recent deluxe figures, and I mean those deluxes are kind of small. So I mean, I guess it works. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, I think that for this guy, the smaller the figures, the better it works, just because it kind of translates that scale. But it's not bad with these deluxes, not by a long shot. So I'm kind of looking forward to checking out Trailbreaker and the Orion Pact and stuff like that to go see how they go with them. But I mean, so there you go, the deluxe and the Voyager, and just hot damn, it is large. So let's take a look and put it in city mode, and we can get it intrusive. Oh, just for the hell of it. Look at that. That's the world's smallest Transformers Optimus Prime. He is itty bitty, and that's just, quite frankly, almost too much damn fun. So there's that. Let's turn him into a big city, shall we? But, I mean, just again, like, add a whole lot of really cool playability to this thing, and these they're actually pretty complex hinges down here. I kind of just figured out how to get them right, like, today. I'm like, well, I don't understand. I can't make this thing, you know, I can't make him, nothing can drive through this thing. This gap's too small. That's because there's a second hinge up here that kind of got away from me the first little bit. Like here, put that up, and then here goes the ramp. And that's Metroplex in city mode. except for these things. Bottom line, I don't know anybody that can tell me what the hell these are for. These little weird red things. They're there. The instructions do point them out, and they say to pull them up, but they don't serve any purpose at all, as far as I can tell. I don't know what they're supposed to be for. They're just kind of there, not going to do anything. And there's nothing on the back, there's nothing on the front. They're just nondescript red post things. Go friggin' figure. So, this is the city mode, and it is ridiculous. Again, we'll toss, it's the jazz mold in there. Here's We Starscream and We Scamper. And just show a couple little cool bits. Well, I'll show some in detail in a minute, but just this is like I said, this is Scamper. He came with him, so you can kind of see he's he can play all around here. He can stand up here, and he can man both of these guns. And they're on all these ball joints, so he can hold both of these handles and shoot bad guys, and it's pretty rad. And then what I really dug and was kind of surprised to see is the head. When you flip it down, it actually becomes a little battle station too. So you can stand behind it, and there's pegs in the back of his head so you can hold it. And there's even this little translucent red plastic that has a targeting reticle sculpted into it. So just really, really cool touches. And like I said, the little ramps and stuff like that I mentioned earlier. It's just, there's nothing to this dude. He goes in seconds. He's ready to go and do his thing. So just to illustrate the point about the little ramps, because it's really neat. He's got, he can roll all the way down the line. That's just really cool. That's I always sort of picture this thing as being more for the adult market, the adult collectors. I'm sure that's going to be a huge deal of it, but I was really, really surprised, pleasantly surprised, to see how much playability there is for kids. Like, for these little Legends figures and the Cyberverse figures, like, there's a lot of cool stuff to do. So let's take a look at some of that stuff and a little bit more detail, and we'll be done, man. So yeah, there is a lot to look at here. You've got all these nice sculpted details in here on these compartments in the legs. These cool cross-hatched here on the ramps is pretty neat. But it's really, this is where the stickers take forever. And ironically, you're not going to see a lot of them if you just play this guy in a robot mode. But like, both the bays have these cool little raynets in it, and there's this little screen over here, and then there's the same kind of deal behind the ramp here. If I'm going to make one gripe about the city mode, is this ramp is too short. He just is. You'd think that the ramp would you want it to be able to roll down through this and like out here, but as is, you just kind of the steep drop off. You just kind of goes. That's really not effective as a ramp. That's not what a ramp is supposed to do. Kind of period at all. But otherwise, it's pretty solid all the way around. He has this can up here, and again, there's a little readout there, and there's two little readouts up here, and this little cranny by the helipad. Just really, really nice sort of all the way around. And this guy here is almost like this side here is like a repair bay for Scamper. So you see the little cross out, little sort of wireframe of Scamper, which is pretty neat to see. And it's just really, really cool. And I guess we'll show off that bit behind the head, because it's really a surprise to see that. It's a lot of fun. So you got the posts here, and then you can kind of see that reticle right there kind of sculpted into it. And there's stickers for like a radar display and like another targeting system thing. Just really, really, really cool. But it's also this mode where the sticker sheet becomes the biggest problem. This is the bigger problem with the sticker sheet in the whole set, by and large. And I'm going to show you why right quick. Because if I had seen this before, I'd have had a lot easier time. You'll notice I circled this guy right here, 771. So this is supposedly the aerial view of the city mode. So let's just call it, like I can't even get it that high, but this, okay? This is kind of our problem here. So you got all this business here, from the arm all the way down to the leg is right there. Now, sticker 71 goes right here. Right there is, this whole bit here is the arm, which is this cavernous area right here. There is nothing shaped like 71 And this arm cavity, where sticker 71 actually goes, is underneath the arm, tucked way back in this corner here. That's the exact shape. And there's one just like it on the other side. Made that one a lot easier to find than this one. There's crap like that all over it. Because of the good design in the legs, like, these flat pieces here. There's nothing really indicating, oh, hey, this goes on the inside. I mean, they made it, like on the floor for all I knew. It was very complicated. Once you sort of understand that, that's what you're going for, and how many of these stickers are panels, it becomes kind of easy, but this isn't super awesome. I'm just going to flat out say it. It was kind of a pain to get some of these. But, that being said, not a huge deal. Also, 2 of the stickers are labeled incorrectly on the sheet and the instructions. The numbers are backwards. I think it was like one of the little displays and, one of the... so it's obviously not right. It doesn't take long at all to be like, hey, this the hell, this isn't going to work. But this is Metroplex, Generations Metroplex, in all of his glory. Like I said, so much more fun than I thought it was going to be. Like, I thought it was going to be big, cool display piece, but he's actually a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool stuff in here for kids, for grown-ups alike. Really, really super cool. Very excited. And so that's Metroplex. 3 modes of unadulterated kick-ass. Just so much damn fun. Love it. Absolutely love it. Retail price is $124. $124.95 is MSRP. It's expensive, but is it worth it? Yeah. Bottom line, it's absolutely worth the money that they're asking for it. It's big. It's got the lights and the sounds and so much stuff. Hell, it comes with a little mini figure. Those Legends figures are like $10 by themselves. It's absolutely worth it. That said, if it's something you think you might be interested in, if you want to get this thing, you need to get it now. Would it make a good Christmas present? Bet your ass it would. It'd be an awesome Christmas present. But you're not going to buy it in November. If you're looking to get it for a friend or, a husband, wife, brother, whatever, kid, whatever. If you want to buy it for somebody else, you want to get it now. Because it's going to be probably worse than the serial layer was last year. You're not going to be able to find this damn thing. Don't wait for it to go on clearance, because it's probably not going to happen. Hasbro is going to try to meet demand, but they're not going to make a whole lot of these things because it's a risk, on their end to produce these things because they're so much more expensive to make them, much less purchase them on our end. So, buy it. If you want it, buy it, support it. Show that, the market can handle this kind of thing. That way maybe, next year, a couple of years from now, maybe we'll get a big Triptychon to go make them fight. That'd be pretty rad, Probably see a Metro Titan repaint somewhere down the line pretty soon. But hope you enjoyed this. Next week, or next episode rather, we're going to take a look at Fort Max in more detail. Show off the predecessor, the previous title holder for the largest Transformer ever made. We'll take a look at all the stuff he used to do. And, just from there, go on to some more fun stuff. So probably, go a little old school, go a little new school. So hope you enjoyed this. Go to PanelsOnPages.com and check out our thousands upon thousands of articles about all things geek. We got comics, movies, toys, video games. Hell, we even got an anime column now that just started up, so there you go. PanelsOnPages.com. Everything but Doctor Who, because we don't care. Listen to the podcast. We do a live podcast every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central at chat.panelsonpages.com. And, it's not for kids, but, grown-up folks might like it. We're funny. We think it's fun times. Follow us on Twitter at PanelsOnPages. We're on Facebook, all that neat stuff. Leave some comments here. Subscribe to us. Subscribe to the newsletter. Links for that are all on the main site at PanelsOnPages.com. My name is Lee Rodriguez. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.